Hello, folks, and welcome back to another review and thoughts on. This time, I actually checked out the most recent horror, black comedy, I guess you can say, horror comedy, uh, Borderline, which is the latest Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson film, also son of Jack Nicholson, I found out. And yeah, he does have some of his dad's mannerisms, especially his face expressions. I thought he did pretty good in this overall. I was entertained by him. The movie is about pretty much pop star Samara Weaving plays Sophia. Um, Pretty much a hopeless romantic psychopath escapes from a mental institution and invades the home of a '90s pop star. He just wants to be loved. She just wants to survive. And judging by the trailer, you would think at first, and the way the synopsis is, I thought it was going to be just a two-person film. But no, it's an ensemble film, essentially. Which is fine, because overall it was entertaining. Again, Samara Weaving, I liked her in Babysitter Queen Bee as well. I didn't know she's married to the director of this movie, and he did also the Babysitter films. He did Cocaine Bear, which I haven't seen, but that was mind blowing to know. But yeah, the movie it has humor in it for sure. I don't know how much of the humor you'll really like. It does have some people are probably going to call it woke, of course, or be offended a bit of it, especially in the climax of it. I'll just say that with one character in particular. But yeah, like this guy Paul, who's played by Ray Nicholson, plays Paul, the crazy obsessed fan. But judging by the writing in this, which was fine overall, a bit cartoony in ways, especially with a character, a police officer in particular. There's one scene where, they're being called, a police officer is being called to a location. They get there, he's like, oh, because the lady sees somebody standing outside her house watching them. So she calls the police, and he shows up, and he has like a nonchalant attitude about it. Oh, people walk. It's a busy neighborhood around here. Shouldn't worry about it. And then he's like, well, if that's it, I need to get going because I have a music audition in the morning, a musical audition or whatever in the morning. I'm like, what? And then he starts dancing outside. There's really a scene of him just dancing. It took me out of, well, not really, but this movie tries to be dark, but then not really dark. It tries to be a horror creep factor, but then also comedy, which I don't know, because usually I'm okay with, horror comedies at points, at certain amounts. But this one is a bit mixed bag with it. Because I would like some. There's a character in this, the sidekick of the crazy fan character Paul. I forget her, Penny, who plays a crazy sidekick to him. For those two together, I thought was the highlight of the movie mostly because I liked their dynamic of. They reminded me of a Joker and a Harley, which they should have been a better film. I think really. I would have liked to have seen a film with them, but in a more serious, darker take of those two characters. This is like it's like they watched Joker 2, they saw the Harley Quinn and Joker stuff in that, and they decided to play it up more silly than that, or it's more like the cartoon versions of Joker and Harley. Except they don't hate each other, which He calls her his PA, with his personal assistant, and I mean, this guy, it's weird because like the way they treat his mental illness, which it is, he and also we don't really know much about him other than that he's crazy and he's obsessed with Samara Weaving, which I don't blame him. She's you know, but aside from that, we don't know much about, we don't know anything really about her character as well. So I had trouble even caring for anybody except maybe the police officer, or the security guard, I mean, played by Eric Dane, and his daughter and wife, or I believe his daughter anyway. Him and his daughter I cared for more a bit than I did Samara Weaving's character, because again, I didn't know much about her other than that she's, I guess, a singer or a movie star, or I guess just a pop star. It says pop star here, but I swear there was like posters of her, like in movies or whatever in the movie. So I don't know if she's a movie star as well, or just, I guess, just a singer. Which there is a song number in this, which I didn't mind, but then that scene was kind of WTF for a minute. Made me go. Because it starts out with a musical, and then the Penny character just switches on a dime and like goes nuts. And I even like I wish this movie was more serious instead of the comedy aspect, because there's a good balance of creepiness from Paul and the Penny character when they're, tormenting Samara Weaving's character Sophia a bit. Or not even tormenting her, more of like, he's under the impression they're going to get married, and I didn't understand the opening of the movie. Why'd he call the police on himself after he stabbed the security guard, and she wasn't home, and then it cuts to 6 months later, and then we find out, he called the police on himself to turn himself in. But why would he do that? I guess he's crazy, so I guess we can just chalk it up. He's crazy. He doesn't. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because I don't know how he broke out. They don't really say how he broke out either. All they say is that he broke out, and he has an accomplice with him, the Penny character. Which, I didn't mind her. I liked her character. I wish she stayed in a bit longer, but her demise was odd. But again, we don't know much about anybody really, except maybe the security guard. Other than that, like, his daughter doesn't want him being in danger all the time, so like she doesn't want him to be a security guard and rather have him have a safer job, which I understand. I didn't understand the scene where how he survived this one in the one execution scene. I'll just say that, where he should have died. I don't understand how he survived, but let alone he survived twice in this movie. Let me just say that. But and then the movie just ends kind of with, I'm not even going to spoil, but it ends very abruptly to me. It's like, everything's wrapped up in a bow, I guess, and, it's like a Scooby-Doo episode. We caught the killer or whatever, and we're going to have a few words with the main characters, and then a few words with the side characters, and then off to the credits, so I don't know. This movie, it made me, I liked it. I did like it. It's not like I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I'm more mixed on it because I think there's a better story to be had in this. Again, where the guy, crazy fan, obsessed with, I mean, there's movies like that before, and they did do something different with it, at least here. But I don't know, I would have liked it more serious instead of more of the comedy, because I don't know. I mean, I liked some of the, I don't know, it's a mixed bag for me. The acting from everyone was either good to alright to okay. Samara Weaving, again, she does really well as a scream queen and as an actress. I am excited to see her in What Ready or Not too. But I would say if you're a fan of Samara Weaving, go for it for sure. I won't know if I will say there was a review I saw of this movie. Somebody did mention and did have a good point. This movie's not really focused a whole lot on her character. We know more about the security guard than we know about her. Other than there's like there one scene with her and her buddy Rhodes, who I didn't understand their relationship. Were they dating? Were they just friends? And were they just friends with benefits? Like what? I didn't understand that whole dynamic at all. And then at the end, it's like I guess they're gonna try to date. I guess because she's like, let's give this thing a chance or a try. And I understand. I didn't understand that whole dynamic. And then like the fact that like there's talks also at the beginning of or midway through when we're introduced to her, he's like, "Oh, I'm like a puzzle. You'll just get rid of me after you're finished using me." So I guess she uses people or something, or she's used to rotation of people in her life or something. I don't know. I'm just drawing out straws, I guess here, but I would like to know more about her character. We don't know like anything about her than she's a pop star. That's it. And that one character dialogue of, oh, I guess she goes person to person, I guess, and she thinks she's better than everyone because she's a big star or whatever, because she's Sophia. Granted, they do try to do an arc with her, I guess, by the end, but then it's like it doesn't mean anything because it doesn't do anything to help anybody because the guy that she's trying to the killer when she's trying to distract the killer, he doesn't even acknowledge her existence. He's like, "Ma'am, you need to sit down," because it's weird. Like this guy, he doesn't recognize her, but then he recognizes her later on. But then at times he doesn't. They sort of explain like his whole when he's confused, he gets violent or whatever. But then okay. Or when he gets hurt, he gets violent or something like that. I forget the rules to this guy's mental state. But yeah, overall, the editing was fine. Although I will say it was a bit odd to see this movie fades out. This movie is like is as if it was a TV movie. They'll fade out it'll cut to black and they'll go to the next scene and then cut to black, go to another scene. I'm like, what is this? Why? It's not like it's doing chapters really, because it doesn't even do chapter 1 or whatever. The music in this I thought was fine for what was used anyway. So overall, I do recommend it if you're a fan of horror comedies. It is a slow burn at the beginning, a bit, before anything really happens. But yeah, I liked the synopsis of a romantic psychopath fan wants to pretty much stalk this super pop superstar that he believes he's in love with and wants to marry, and she has to try to survive somehow, but it doesn't really go into that because I don't want to spoil because I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I've gone too long. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts on this movie, if you enjoyed it, if you liked it, if you think it's, one of the best films of the year so far, which I would probably put this on one of my top favorites, I will say. Because I do overall like it. I do like it overall. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but I would say it's one of the top movies I'll say of the year for me. So yeah,